Hello everybody, it's Becky and today I'm going to go through a technique video for you today all about acrylic inks. Let's have a play. Okay, so first of all, we have, let's talk about what acrylic ink is. Essentially, it's acrylic based, so it is going to dry completely completely permanent, as in it's not going to shift once it's dry because it will act like a plastic based acrylic paint once done. However, the formulation of these is such that they are very, very runny, very, very watery, but packed full of pigment. So you're going to get that really big pigment payoff, but with the ability to move and have some fluid kind of almost watercolor-like effects as well. So a lot of the techniques that we do today, we can use with any of our water-based mediums. Now I've got a couple of brands here to play around with. First up, we have Golden Fluid Acrylics, and we have Liquitex acrylic ink. They make acrylic inks. I've got Daler and Rowney. They do acrylic artist inks. And this one in particular is an iridescent one, so I can get a pearl effect with this one. And I have Amsterdam acrylic as well. So Amsterdam ink, Liquitex, Golden, Daler Rowney. I think I caught them all. So let's have a little play and see what we've got. Oh, that color, that's good, doesn't it? That is a nice hot pink. I hope that comes out on camera. Right, so the first technique I'm going to show you is literally wet into wet. So you can use just a regular spray bottle of water and spray paint, or not spray paint, but spray your water on or mist your water on. And the paper that I'm using today is my Etcher watercolor pad because this is made from wood pulp. And honestly, I didn't love it for watercolor, but it comes into its own for mixed media type effects. So I've got a nice wet background here and I'm just going to grab a paintbrush. And we have a paintbrush. Okay, so this paper is still wet. So let's start with some nice red primary magenta, this one from Amsterdam. And these ones, they come with an eyedropper bottle. So squeeze the air out, depress, and you will pick up some, oh, look at that one. You will pick up some ink or acrylic ink, which you can then drop onto your paper. And as you can see, it kind of has this really cool reaction to the water. Let's try it with some fluid acrylic as well. So this is the golden in green gold. And let's just see. So these ones might be a little bit on the thicker side of things. Certainly that one is. So I might need to try something else. But you can see that they flow really quite well. If you bring in just a wet paintbrush, you can also help push it around, move it along, but you'll see that it's happy to bleed, happy to blend. You can also take your water, spritz on top and get some more movement going. Get rid of the splotches or keep the splotches however you want. And that's technique number one. So we'll call that one wet into wet. And just like watercolor, if you do have a paper towel, you can also mop up some areas to get a bit of ghosting, if you like, as well. So if you like that kind of effect, you can also do that. These paints you can dry with a heat tool, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one a blast. Oh yeah, I'm having so much fun. I've had to put a mat down. I've made a mess of everything. Okay, this is the salt technique. So I'm going to spritz this water nice and well because you want it to be nice and wet so the salt has got something to soak up essentially. And I'm going to go in with just some fine regular table salt, nothing fancy. Don't use your best. And I'm going to go in with one that's got a really nice deep color for this one. So let's try, yeah, let's try this purple. This one is deep violet, if you're liking this color. Okay. That's another thing you can do, is drawing with the pipette. And I'm going to get some more movement in here. And then sprinkle on some salt. And in all the nice puddles, you will get some organic effects where the salt is sucking up the water and then it pulls the pigment in with it. So you get these nice little organic type shapes. This paper has sucked up a lot of the pigment in this region already, but I'm hoping I'll be able to show you when this one dries how that effect finishes up. But you can play around with this one. You can play around with this one a lot. See if you can see these little areas where it starts to bead up, and then once that's dry you can go ahead and brush off all of that salt that still remains. This next one is a nice fun one as well. So again, I'm going to start off with a nice wet piece of paper, and I'm going to pick out some more colors. I think this time I want to go with this primary cyan from Amsterdam, because look how that all breaks apart. How gorgeous is that one? But this time, instead of using water to make a thing happen, I have here a bottle of alcohol, and this one is 91%. So you want it to be up there with the alcohol content. Okay. And then if we spritz this one, we get a different type of effect. So if you can see that. Now go easy on spraying alcohol. You want to make sure that it is not a fine mister. You want it to be more like a spray mister bottle, and you definitely don't want to breathe it in. So I'm going to leave that for a bit. This paper is definitely having an interesting effect. This is the wood pulp paper. So it's not having quite the same, it doesn't have the same sizing that normal watercolor paper will have. So you will get these shapes on regular watercolor, but they may appear even more bleached out. So this is quite an interesting experiment for me on different types of paper. But you can definitely see we've got some nice bubble shapes appearing here. Okay, and this next one is a nice fun one as well. It is the saran or plastic or cling wrap technique. And I'm going to go in for some more darker colors. So I'm going to try some of these. So I'm definitely seeing that the golden fluid paints are definitely a lot thicker, but you can still get that really good punch of pigment. And again, we're going to want to make sure that this is nice and saturated with water. But I'm also going to throw in, I have some deep gold as well. So if we can get some of that in there. And spritzy, spritzy, spritzy. So when we take our saran and you want to scrunch it up to get all the wrinkles and whatever in, so this could be recycled if you happen to have had some of this lying around. Plop it down and try and make all of those wrinkles and veins create the geometric kind of shapes or the fractal kind of shapes on your paper. Hopefully you can see, there you go. Hopefully you can see these all beading up underneath the wrap. And what you're going to want to do with this one is leave this one to dry as it is, so that when you come back, you just peel it off and it will be dry. Okay, next we're going to do some different resists. One of the ways you can create a resist is by using a masking fluid like this, which you use with a paintbrush. Make sure you wash it really well, or and definitely don't use a good paintbrush on this stuff. You want to make sure that's stirred. But Pebeo also has, and I think there might be some other brands as well, they have these pens with the fluid in it. So what you can do with this is you can do any drawing, maybe some faux writing or something, give it a little pump. And you'll see that this particular one leaves has got like a blue tint to it. You can do little doodles. And then once that's dry, that will be a resist that you can then rub off. Same idea, but it won't rub off, is you can use some crayons. Another thing you can do is bust out the wax pastels or wax crayons. And these will also create a resist as well. So light colors make nice resists with a darker ink on top. Those are my Neocolor ones. Those are the non-water reactive ones, so they will stay firm. Okay, so let's pick a nice color. Let's try turquoise deep. I haven't tried this one yet. So again, let's help ourselves to some water. Let's put in, I want to try this fluorescent pink as well. More spritzy, spritzy. And as you can see, it is resisting on the wax crayon. And the other thing we can do is erase the masking fluid pen from underneath as well. But of course, wait until that has dried first. And then for our next trick, I'm going to try out some metallics and pearls, dropping these into, oh, I have options now, dropping those into a black base so that those metallics and pearls can really get an opportunity to shine and develop. But this could also be by dropping white in. You could get like a really nice, what would that called? Snowflake obsidian, if you know that gemstone. Maybe we do a bit of both. So let's get some black down. The way they move though is really quite nice. This is the Oxide Black by Amsterdam. And then if I were to, let's just keep that wet. Let's see if adding the white is going to make some snowflakes. Whoops. Well, how about that? You can also do that. That was from too much air in the pipette. Yep, so you get like a snowflake obsidian look going with that one, which is really cool if you're using white. Now this one here is called Shimmering Red. So this is a red interference one here. So that one gives some really cool effects. Let's try some of this blue, and this is Daler-Rowney, and this one is called Galactic Blue. That will be why I bought this one with a name like that. Let's just get some more. If you want it to move more, add more water. And then let's put in some of this deep gold. Oh, well, that one. Take a look at that one. Beautiful. Okay, well, we can put little bits of water or spritz quite a lot, depending how you want the effect to be. Now I'm going to let all of these dry and we'll take a look how they all ended up. Hello, I'm back with the end results, and here we go. We've got this resist technique. This is everything dried now. You can see how the ink has just gone straight over everything. That's a really cool technique. This was the cling wrap. I peeled this off, so now you can see why I love using metallics in this particular technique, because the heavy particles of the mica or whatever they use really shows it off to its full abilities. But you can still see, even without mica, this is the kind of geometric, fractally kind of patterns that you get. This was our wet into wet. This one here was our salt. So let me just dust off some of these salt particles for you. There we go. So as you can see, even though it didn't look like much at the start, we've got all of these really cool organic looking splatters. I also did do another one in another colorway. I wasn't as sure how this one will come out because I was quite heavy with the ink, but actually it's come out with a different way. It's come out with a different way of doing the texture, as you can see. So this is like a heavy lay down. You get these really dark moody patches, but on the lighter application, you get more of a neutral, natural kind of look. So play is everything. It's all about playing. This one was our alcohol. So this has created almost like a wet resist at the time. So that's why you get these really cool bubbles. So in blue, obviously, this is really giving ocean, sea, underwater thing. And then here was our fun play of dropping into a dark color. So you can see what happens when we apply the white, what we happen to get when we apply metallics and pastels. Sorry, not pastel, pearlescent colors. So you can see that little flash, 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 flash. Very cool. So I hope that was helpful and useful for you, and I hope that's going to get you to go and play. As usual, I have put links to things that I think you might want to look at if you're looking to shop down below in the description. And as always, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me with the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is incredibly fussy about getting those early likes in. So if you did enjoy this video and you would like to see me revive my series on technique videos, please let me know. Give me a share, give me a like, give me a subscribe, all the things that makes YouTube a very happy person to share these videos. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much and see you soon.